What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Today, I am interviewing Josh Mettle. What's up, Josh?
For the first time, right, Dave?
I'm not even going to count how many times now. I mean, for the countless time, I'm interviewing Josh Mettle.
Oh. Yeah, man. Good morning. I'm excited to be with you, and glad you woke me out. I had a rare morning where I wasn't in my morning routine, and so we'll see how this goes, Dave. We're gonna wing it.
So guys, the theme of today is about Josh's lead generation platform. He's generating over 10,000 leads annually. He's trending to close over 1,200 loans this year. It is August 1st of 2019. It's a pretty damn good time in the mortgage space. One more, I don't want to go down this whole tangent, but it's funny that you said you're out of your routine. So folks, Josh, out of his routine, he already did his morning workout. Like it's 6:35 a.m. Pacific, and he's running a little bit late, but he's already done his workout. So his routine still consists of, or being out of his routine still consists of getting your morning workout in. So that's pretty good, dude.
And my meditation. Those are the two things I can't live without. Other things I can let slide every now and then. We were celebrating a great July, so we went out to dinner with my family last night, and we were really late, Dave. I think we got home at 8 o'clock. So it was really, it was crazy.
Wild times in Josh Mettle land. 8 o'clock, going late.
Totally.
Going hard. How many loans did you close in July? What was your stats?
The team finished with 146 clients served for just over 56 million.
Boom. Not bad, brother. That's congratulations to your team.
Thank you.
Make note, rocked it. Everybody, Josh isn't taking the credit. It's all about the team. As always, it's just the way you roll. So let's get into lead gen. You know, I have been evangelizing for a long time that you got to get to the consumer first. And now that's just an obvious trend. I mean, it's like everybody's on the bandwagon. Got to get to the consumer first. We still want realtors, but if we're going to serve realtors and if we're going to serve ourselves and have this snowball-like mortgage practice, we've got to have a consumer first platform, not just a strategy, a platform. Part of that platform is your past customers, optimizing the business from your past customers. That is a consumer first strategy. But Josh, do a little bit of what is a lead gen platform for you, and then we'll get into specific strategies that are generating over 10,000 leads annually for you and your team.
Yeah, and let me just say one other thing before I forget it, because we may go down this trail and I may lose it. One of the things that I found is really interesting is that once you create a lead gen platform, then you become hyper valuable to your realtor partners, because most of them have not created a lead gen platform. So, what we're really playing with right now is how can we get together 12 or 15 of the top realtors that I just love doing business with, and how can we help them create a lead gen content driven platform? So let's make sure we don't forget about that, because you threw in the comment about that doesn't mean we've forgotten about our realtors. So I want to make sure we circle back to that at some point.
Yeah, and let's also qualify this. What we're really going to talk about is a content lead gen platform, and
yes.
And the philosophy of being a digital mayor of blank, being a digital mayor of a geographic location, being a geographic mayor of physician loans. You've built this platform by creating content that's unique and proprietary to you, and then distributing that digitally through websites, email, and why don't you finish, start walking us through. And why don't we just go from top to bottom? First of all, what are the platform? What are the strategies? And then let's kind of go through, which ones are delivering the most results. And then I'm going to close it out with you providing leadership to, just the average LO who doesn't have it, where to start. So start going, brother. Share.
Fair. Yeah. So, I started just very simply jotting down the top 10 or 15 questions that my target market, my target clients were asking me. And it's irrelevant who your target market is. If you're an established loan officer with 3,000 past clients in your database, then maybe your target market is your past clients. If you're a new loan officer and you live downtown in a condo building and you happen to know the ins and outs of every condo building in your downtown area, then your target market is buyers of those condos that might run into trouble financing somewhere else. So wherever you have a unique ability to serve, you figured things out that other loan officers can't, you have solutions that other banks can't, you really have the highest value to give to your clients, that's your target market. That may be veterans, that may be USDA, right? The list could go on forever. We could brainstorm and come up with 100 different set of target clients.
So time out. So we've said it before, there's riches and niches, and we're talking about niches. So Mortgage Coach community, if you're watching this in our Facebook group, comment down below, what are some of your niches? And you can have more than one niche, but what are the top 1, 2, no more than 3 niches? Because I do think if you start having too many niches, you don't have niches. You're all over the place. And so what niches are you focused on? Facebook, YouTube? Let's get a list going of what the Mortgage Coach community is focusing on. So got that. Keep going.
So you come up with your target audience or your target market, and then you start to just write down what are their most frequently asked questions. And so when I started, I just, flipped out my phone and would just record off of my iPhone the answers to the most frequently asked questions that they would ask. And then I would take those questions, I would put them on YouTube. I would, nowadays, what we would do is we would create a target audience in Facebook, as well as what we have on YouTube, but YouTube's not quite as searchable as what we used to have. And I would be continually answering those questions. I would do it in a video format. I would get to those people directly through Facebook with a target audience, because in Facebook, I can say I want to focus on a specific geographical region. Like I could pick all the condo buildings in a specific area if that condo was my niche. And I'm going to start answering those questions and feeding those people information that I know that they want to know. So in my world, our primary niche, I'd really say we have 3 primary focuses right now. One would be medical professionals. And our platform looks like we run about 60 different websites that have, your application, about us, meet the team. Here's the answers to your questions. So we've really built that out over the last decade, but I've got websites, and then I'm driving people to the websites via both videos and articles that I've written. And then I'm getting that content, the answers to their questions, or I'm challenging their beliefs and trying to teach them something that they didn't know based on facts. And I'm putting that content where those people are. So Dave, I might have bought a list if you're a medical professional, and now based on that list, I've matched you in Facebook and Instagram, and now my content is getting to you that way. And that may be a 30-second video challenging some assumption that you have about the market or some assumption you have about financing, and then driving you to one of our websites to get more information, and eventually raise your hand and say, yeah, I'm interested in getting some more information, where I capture your information. And that's where we say, we're getting about 10,000 consumer direct leads. It's because I've got an article on a website that I know you're going to go to. I've got a paid advertisement on a website I know you're going to go to. I've got a 30 or 60-second Facebook video on social media that I know I'm targeting in your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed. And some piece of content that I've created that's interesting to you in your particular niche as a human being is going to cause you to raise your hand and say, yeah, that you're talking directly to me. I'd like a little bit more information about that. And we capture your information.
Okay, so before we go off of websites, what's trending in the Mortgage Coach community right now is the sellerbuydown.com websites. Scott Nicholson is killing it with Reno. And the Seller Buy Down, it's a program, but it's a niche. And he's taken it to levels that I hadn't even thought of. So be sure to check out sellerbuydown.com. I'll also put a link to my most recent interview with Scott Nicholson. He's killing it with that niche. Remember, let us know what niches you're going after. So let's just do like an inventory. So you got your physician loan strategy and approach. You've got 60 websites that you've built over a decade. So guys, don't be intimidated. Josh has been just chopping wood, every month getting better, kind of like
Yeah.
focusing on one or two things, implementing them, very thoughtful before he adds another thing. He's making sure he's executing at one thing before he adds another. And over a decade, he has built this platform. So physicians, websites, what else?
Yeah, so the other thing that I'd say we're really focusing right now is our past clients. Between myself
Yes,
and the rest of the
love
loan
that.
officers, in our database, we now have well over 10,000 past clients. So the thought process for a lot of those past clients right now, or the assumption is that we're near a market top in real estate, and the next recession is going to have similar impacts on the housing market as the last recession. And so we're really going out of our way, creating content, videos, articles, email blasts, little Facebook posts that show people that if you look back over the last 6 or 7 recessions, that in the majority of those recessions, I think 5 out of the last 7, we actually had appreciation right through the economic recession. And in another one of those last 7 recessions, the values of homes were only down like 1.8%. And then, of course, we had the Great Recession, which was caused by the bad underwriting, or I'm going to almost say out ethics lending practices. And that implosion in lending caused that housing contraction that was so great. But people don't remember that. They have like a cognitive bias where they only remember a piece of the data, and they've arrived at an assumption that the next recession is going to have a similar impact on housing. And so we're working really hard to challenge that assumption with giving them a fuller set of the data, because we know that cognitive bias is out there, because that's what clients are asking me. What I'm hearing from my clients is, hey, Josh, I'm thinking about buying another house. We've way outgrown this house, but I think I'm just going to wait for the next crash. What do you think? Right? I've heard that 100 times. So I know that's a cognitive bias. So that gives me an opportunity to educate and to challenge a assumption from somebody that gets somebody to go, man, that's pretty interesting. I'm going to raise my hand and I'd like to reach back out to Josh and get some more information. So past clients, that's one assumption we're challenging. Of course, the other thing, yeah, go ahead.
Well, are you going to go off of past clients? I just want to add some cliff notes before you move to another one. Are you
No, go ahead.
Still on past clients?
I was going to go past clients and refinance, but go ahead. And
So
then
let's do past clients. So there's so much to unpack there. And I think the word that comes to my mind is sustainable lending. We used to not have sustainable lending practices. I believe we do have sustainable lending practices at the moment. And Josh, because I follow him, on social, he does a great job of just always coming from this servant leader's heart, educating his consumer that I'm here to help you build wealth through real estate by making smarter mortgage decisions. He may not say those exact words in that exact order. Sometimes he does. He's always mixing it up. But all the content is, I'm your guide. I'm going to be your guide so that throughout the course of your life, you're going to build wealth with real estate. Josh builds wealth with real estate himself. So he is an example and epitomizes that. And then he's telling stories. Like, I love that recent past client where you helped a past client. You helped them refinance. You showed them that if they prepaid their mortgage by $1,100, that they would, I think it was $200,000 or $300,000 over the course of a lifetime, they would save an interest cost. And I think it was like $123,000 over the course of 15 years, they'd save an interest cost. So again, and of course, powered by Mortgage Coach, you're using that to, tell the story visually. And then and guys, I'm going to put a link down below to an example of what I'm talking about, where Josh killed it for a customer, gave incredible advice, used a total cost analysis, and then he told that story on Facebook. He packaged it and promoted it, and that became part of his marketing. So I just wanted to put a couple cliff notes in right there, but transition to your next strategy.
Yeah, well, that's exactly where I was going to go. So, on one side, we're reaching back out to clients and trying to educate them that the next economic recession has a very high probability to not have the same impact on housing as the last economic recession. So that's number one. How's the audio quality, by the way, Dave? Am I still okay?
It's pixelated, but just keep going. Well, it'll be gone soon. One of our internets is acted up. Anybody who's wondering, I am broadcasting out of a hotel, the W in Bellevue. That's why I have such a cool background. And I'm guessing that a few more people jumped on the internet here. But let's keep rolling.
Okay.
It's good enough.
Okay, no worries. So the other thing that we're reaching back out to past clients about is talking to them about creating an overall debt strategy. And what I mean by that is refinancing your mortgage will probably save you $40,000 or $50,000 potentially. Remove mortgage insurance, move you to a 20-year, those strategies are good. But what Dave was talking about was I had a past client who was actually a realtor partner of mine who had some student loans, a car loan, and a credit card. And because of the incredible amount of appreciation she had seen, we were able to eliminate those and then re-aim that capital that was going towards the student loan, the credit card, and the car loan towards her new mortgage. And what that did was it wiped out about $70,000 in consumer debt. It freed up $1,200 a month of cash, which we can now point towards her new mortgage. And if she continues making the exact same payment she is today, or she was last month because we've already closed, and she aims that powerful beam of cash, as I call it, towards the new mortgage, then we have the ability to pay off that new mortgage in about 13 years, and it saved her $299,000, like just under $300,000. So we took that powerful story and we're now creating marketing content that we're taking to our past clients to talk to them about restructuring their mortgage versus just refinancing their mortgage.
So guys, I'm going to put a link to that total cost analysis down below so you can see an example of the story. And I'm also going to have a link to the, I guess, story selling video that Josh created that he posted on Facebook. I've seen it on Instagram. He's taking that content and then he's promoting it in different venues, and then he's creating different kinds of micro content. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take some quotes from that with a picture of himself, super funny, just promoting that story. And again, it's story selling, but it's educational story selling. So
That's right.
Super smart. Love the way you're building content. So let's go into a wrap up. Not that we're in a hurry to finish, but give some advice. I mean, you're a leader. You have a lot of people on your team. You're a leader at Fairway. You're often on stage giving advice to loan officers. What advice do you have to the mortgage coach community? And let's assume that they don't have the kind of lead platform you have. It's let's not say struggling loan officer that's closing less than 5 loans a month. Let's just say, good, solid, sustainable mortgage professional that does have some past customers. Let's just say 500-ish. What advice do you have for them to start building out their own content-driven, digital, I become the mayor of something, lead gen platform? Give us a playbook.
Yeah. So let me see if I can break it down to 3 steps to try and make it simple. The first thing I would do is I would try to identify who I have a unique ability to serve better than my competition. In other words, if I'm a credit challenged loan officer and I work with a lot of people who are credit challenged, and I got a client that's now an affluent client buying a upscale condo, I don't know all the things about upscale condos. But if you're an upscale condo guy who deals with affluent clients and downtown condo projects, you have an advantage over virtually any other loan officer. So I would figure out, where with my skill set, with what I know, with what my company brings to the table, where do I have an advantage? That'd be step number 1. Step number 2, I would find someone and I would hire someone that has a unique ability in creating video, editing video, knows how to create custom audiences inside of Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and I would hire that person to help me create content and then get that content out there. So I've figured out my target market, number 1. In doing so, I'm going to start creating content about the most frequently asked questions, or I'm going to tell success stories about me being successful inside of serving that audience. I'm going to find a partner who can help me do video, edit video, get content out, create custom audiences. So I have a vehicle now to, this is my media to get to those clients. And then number three, I would create a ritual around it. I would create a certain number of hours per week. So for me, I have time in the morning blocked out for content creation, usually before I go to the gym. That's what I missed today. And then my Fridays are completely dedicated to content creation. I'm only in the office as a loan officer or manager for about an hour and a half. And then the rest of the day is all content creation. And I'm collaborating with this video editor, marketing person, the guy who's running my websites, the guy who's creating our custom audiences. And we're just creating content and collaborating on how to get that out there. So that would be my 1, 2, 3. And you could start that with an incredibly low budget and then just consistently continue to do that. The leads will continue to grow. You'll need to build a team eventually. You'll be able to bring in a full-time marketing person. Just figure out where you can give value, start creating content on a consistent basis, get somebody to help come across and actually get that content out, and then don't give up, and the leads will start to come.
So what do you think the budget is? You said on an incredibly limited budget. What does that mean? Like, dollarize that for us.
Oh, I mean, if you had a buddy that could help you, get the advertisements and do the video editing and that kind of stuff, and let's say you're paying him $500 a month to help you, and you came up with 1,000, you wanted to do $500 a month in target audience advertising through social media. With $500 to $1,000 a month, you're going to start bringing leads in, absolutely. And I would bet you that the quality of those leads would be infinitely higher than if you handed that same $1,000 over to Zillow and you bought leads from Zillow, because you have no niche, you haven't specialized yourself, you have no real expertise to that client you're talking to, and they're probably getting called or sold to multiple other loan officers or realtors in the process.
I love it. So mortgage coach community, we're going to keep doing calls on this topic. Josh is also an American Dream partner. And when you follow him, maybe we'll do an interview. Well, we just did a pretty cool interview on how you're taking that new channel and that new strategy, and you're going to realtors and partnering with them on media. So I'll put a link down below to that interview we just did a week ago. But guys, this is a super important priority. If you want to be a sustainable referral-based mortgage professional, you want to build a snowball-like mortgage practice. Snowball means starts rolling down the hill and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You need to have a customer-first strategy or consumer-first. And you do need to make sure your past clients are one of those 3 strategies. As Josh said, you do need to have a niche, riches and niches. And if you want to compete against disruptors coming into the mortgage space, the big national brands coming into the mortgage space, you need to have a niche. So Josh, as we wrap this up, any parting comments or advice for everybody?
Yeah, I'd say the other thing that you could do is you could start reading Dan Kennedy's stuff. Dan Kennedy is a godfather in the marketing space. He doesn't particularly talk about marketing for mortgage, but if you just started reading some of Dan Kennedy's books, that would give you a great foundation of how to create your valuable direct response marketing campaign. So that would be my last piece of advice.
Cool. And tune in to the mortgage coach community. Make sure you're watching, at least one mortgage coach video a week. I know, Josh, you make consuming our content a pretty regular priority.
I do.
Any advice to loan officers there?
Yeah, well, you can save the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel directly to, you can just save that icon directly to your home page of your iPhone. And like today, I'll make a ritual about it. My family's got some soccer stuff, so I'm going to go for an hour-long hike tonight at about 4:30, and I'm going to watch a YouTube video. And I'm consistently trying to get myself out of the office to think about what are the new ideas that we can create marketing campaigns that we can take directly to consumers. So you got to continue to feed your brain with new ideas that way. Fertilize, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, I'm hearing more and more loan officers that are using the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel like a podcast and love the strategy. One of these days, I'm going to do a podcast. Well, hey, if you got value from this, give us a like. If you love something about it, give it a love. Share it with your mortgage friends. Josh Mettle, appreciate you making time, brother.
Thanks, man. Anytime. Great to see you, Dave. Have a wonderful day, buddy.
Good to see you, buddy.